And shall we start with Vikas from StarHub?
Thank you, Guy. Hi, everyone. This is a new normal, I guess, to have conferences through panel discussions through virtually. So nice to meet you guys. I am Vikas. I am Director Mobile Product and New Business at StarHub. I have been with StarHub for 4 years. I've been in telecom industry, ICT industry for more than 10 years. So we at StarHub are exploring new business areas, new exciting areas in telecom sector with 5G, with insurance, security, gaming, healthcare, and more. So cloud gaming is the most exciting one and the most recent one, which we have embarked onto. Cloud gaming, we became the first one to launch cloud gaming with NVIDIA GeForce now in Southeast Asia. And we've seen amazing traction, which has surpassed our expectations, our forecasts, and the traction among users is great. We just completed eBeta and we've gone into the full launch in September. It's pretty exciting on this exciting journey, and happy to share views and exchange views and learn from the panel today.
Great. And I'm Jeremy Hinton. I'm Director of Gaming for Asian markets at Microsoft. I've been with Microsoft for over 16 years. And in terms of the work that we're doing at Xbox, we really believe in providing players with more choice in how they play their games on the devices that they already own today. And we really see cloud gaming as complementary to the work that we've done historically with consoles. And so whilst today, any Xbox console can work as a remote server, you can play the games that you already own on a range of different devices. We also offer now cloud gaming from our Azure data centers as a part of our Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription. So today we're in a beta in 22 markets and public preview in another 4. And whilst we're not yet in Southeast Asia, we do have broad ambitions to go to more places with more games and on more devices. So happy to be joining the panel today. Thank you.
Hi everyone. This is Subhashis. I work as a Cloud Solution Director for Oracle, and I'm focusing on media and communication industry in the JPAC region. I work closely with a wide range of customers in digital media and gaming segment in the region in realizing their business use cases, leveraging an integrated cloud solution, which is Oracle Cloud or OCI. Now, the key areas, the key focus areas we're addressing for customers is, the first one is operational efficiency, that is host the gaming environment or media streaming environment on Oracle Cloud. And there are a whole gamut of solutions, right from video rendering clusters to high performance computing or hosting the entire gaming stack. The second part is automate their business processes, connect to backend. And the third part is deliver customer experience with conversational AI and AI ML driven analytics. So in the recent times, we have seen a lot of media and gaming customers coming to Oracle. I mean, Oracle as a provider was known so far on backend applications, but these are really exciting times. And in the last 3 years, we are making the transition also on the front end of the customers. Thank you.
Thanks for the presentation, and nice to meet all of you. I'm Ben, co-founder of CareGame. So it's been now among almost 4 years we've been working. We've been starting the company. Before that, my previous experience was launching my own mobile game, so as a mobile game publisher in a way. And we tackled the distribution of mobile games with CareGame. So we are building a mobile-centric cloud gaming solution, enabling mobile operators across the world to launch their own cloud gaming subscription services for mobile games. We have now more than 1,000 mobile games in the catalog we can serve. We have the ability to deploy in 44 countries today. We are really at this moment, after 3 years of research and development and exploring different use cases, we are accelerating with mobile operators now, having signed our first partnerships this summer, for example, with Digital Virgo or with Star News. So I'm very happy to talk with you guys about specifically what we are doing in Southeast Asia.
Yeah, it's a real pleasure to have you all on this panel, and thank you so much for all the introductions. The next topic, or the first topic I want to talk about today is what's really the target audience for cloud gaming, because cloud gaming has a variety of applications and use cases. So maybe we can tie this back to Ben that was talking about mobile cloud gaming. What would you say are the types of customers and users that your services are targeting?
Yeah, so as you mentioned, indeed, there are very diverse types of cloud gaming, so that can match diverse types of users that we can tackle. And what for us is a big focus at CareGame is to target mobile users and really we want to reach the next billion of gamers who don't have access to a PC that is powerful enough to play, of course, but they also don't have a console, don't have a gamepad, for example. So we are really targeting this mobile first markets or mobile only markets. When we look at like data, we know that more than according to a 2020 study by the International Data Corporation, we saw that between 60 and 70% of current mobile devices are not suited for gaming. So even if we look only at mobile users, they often lack a powerful phone or storage to get the latest mobile games running. So that's what we are focusing on, and also just generally and our target and in markets like in Thailand or in Indonesia, you have 2.5 times more mobile gamers than classical PC gamers or console gamers. So that's what we are targeting, purely mobile games. That's also because we have a deep belief that the best games to enjoy on mobile are the ones that we have designed for that. So we want to have the experience as easy as possible. So no gamepad needed and only touch controls. So that being said, actually Thailand is the country where we launched our first monetized POC with a local partner. And we see that mobile users are really enticed to just access to a platform with very important list of games where they can jump in easily without any download. Of course, discoverability is enhanced like nowhere else. And then I think that's going to be another topic in the area, but the quality of connection is super important. And for mobile gaming, we have a solution that is optimized to run even at 1.5 megabit per second, which is I mean, the 4G even if 5G is going to accelerate a lot, of course, the traction and adoption, our solution can afford a good 4G. If it's not like a very latency sensitive FPS, you're good to go with 4G on CareGame at least. If I had to just add the last word, everyone's with a smartphone is gonna get on gaming in the future years. That's what we have seen as an emerging tendency. And so that's why we need to have a very wide catalog of games to match every types of genres of games.
Let me add, thank you, Ben. I mean, for the perspective from you being a publisher first and then having a huge catalog of mobile games and so on. So as a telco, what we have seen is that, 1G and 2G was all about communication. So you could call and you can text, right? Then came 3G. And before 3G, for your entertainment needs, for you to listen to music, you used to download it and then transfer it to your phone and then listen to music. But then when came 3G, gave rise to companies like Spotify because you could stream music. So there was no need to download anymore because the bandwidth was there. So that there was a transition in the consumer behavior of how music streaming used to work and how music consumption used to work. But then still video had that a lot of P2P space where customers still used to download and then consume videos. But then came 4G where the bandwidth was really good and it was over 1 Gbps for markets like Singapore. So you could stream and videos without any jitter, and that's where it gave rise to companies like Netflix and many more, right? So the consumer behavior for music and video changed in 3G and 4G. So what is 5G going to do is that it's going to improve the latency. So even better, and this is where the speed was already there, like what Ben mentioned in 4G, but latency is what 5G offers, and this is where you can now play games on the move. So you can stream games as you are streaming videos. This is what cloud gaming offers, right? Traditionally, AAA game titles have been the gaming space for those geeks who are in a corner room who buy a $3,000 worth of PC or a heavy-duty console from Microsoft, and then they play games, right? But cloud gaming, and if you look at the pyramid, there's those hardcore gamers. Hardcore gamers on the top. If I draw the triangle like this, and then you have people in the middle who aspire to be a hardcore gamer, but because of the budget or because of the time constraint or because of whatsoever reason, they don't have the knowledge of the GPUs, the graphical processing units to buy, and which games to play on. They don't have the gaming community. So this is where the whole momentum around that people in the middle are fueling the first segment to fuel the cloud gaming would be there, where they would jump onto that ship with a monthly subscription and try on cloud gaming, play AAA titles. And this is where those small community-based esports would come into play, because now these gamers, these who were not able to play because of the needs of high-end laptops, now can play with a gamepad on their phone or on their PC, would be able to have access to. So in our so-called hypothesis, that would be the first segment. They would be those AAA titles, which customers would play, those people in the middle who aspire to do so. It would be difficult to move those hardcore gamers who have experienced gaming on high-end PCs. They would come eventually, but initial target segment would not be them. And as the industry evolves, we'll see a lot more mobile games, and this is where Southeast Asia, the adoption would be higher, because the mobile gaming segment is big. That the games on mobiles would be more, so customers would now, a serious gamer would need to have a gamepad, so the sales for the accessories around gaming industry will also go up. So that's how we see the industry evolving. Yeah, that's our hypothesis. That's our view from a mobile operator, a telecom operator.
Perhaps if I can offer a slightly different perspective, because I think at Microsoft, we're starting from those core gamers that are traditionally PC or console first gamers. And I think, our experience tells us that any new technology shift, it starts with those consumers. They will be the first to adopt it and first to try it. And so I think, that's where we've started, and we've started there for a couple of key reasons. The first is clearly, where we're coming from and the strength of our business. We do have a legacy in console and PC, and indeed we do have, strength in both a, content and community perspective in both of those environments. We can also, in terms of the technology that we're deploying, we can also deliver thousands of games to millions of customers who just want to play those games in new ways. To the benefit of our developers, they don't need to change a single line of code in order to have that content made available to just a whole range of new devices. And so what our early experience is showing us is that we actually do see those core users who actually want to extend their gameplay experience. So they're away from that primary device that they're playing on, that they love, that they spend most of their time playing on, but they want to take their favorite games and play them on the go, or play them in an alternate environment that they just wouldn't be able to play that game otherwise. They'd be away from their favorite piece of content, whereas now they can keep grinding, or they can keep leveling up their characters, even in the downtime where they would have had to supplement with other content historically. And so, we do see these consumers, they are at that pointy end that you described, for sure. Often those consumers, though, are really key advocates for the next layer down of consumers. And so there's, that next layer down of consumer will come to them and say, have you tried this? What do you think about it? Does it work? I've heard all these things about cloud gaming. I don't believe it will work. And those core guys will say, hey, I've been using it. I play my favorite games. I can play them now on this low-end PC or this mobile device. I can play it at the beach. And so that kind of level of authority that comes from the core gamers gives confidence to then their friends and family and less experienced players to pick up and play as well. Now, I do think to your point around, Southeast Asian gamers are primarily, mobile first or mobile only. And I do think, some of the areas that Ben touched on as well, as we think about how do you take that experience from being just a console or PC experience that's extended to the cloud and perhaps, a little bit more native, certainly lowering the barriers to entry in terms of, it's on the devices that you own today. You don't need to go out and buy that high-end PC, that high-end console. Certainly, subscriptions also, is a great way to get access to hundreds of games to see what you can try, etc. So that lowers kind of the risk with the content that you want to play. And we also do see building experiences that are contextually aware of the devices that you're playing on, as well as the accessories that you're using, as really kind of optimizing for that play experience as well. So for us, that is things like, adding touch to games that were never built or designed with touch in mind, but, the service detects that you're on a mobile device and will automatically give you a touch layer on a game that's been designed for an Xbox controller, as well as things like, scaling UI automatically, two kind of really good examples. And then lastly, I do think it does come down to kind of one of the core truths of our industry is like, fundamentally, this is about awesome games that people want to play. Like, I do think that is the tipping point of kind of bringing more people in here as well. So at Microsoft, we've really invested a lot to strengthen our studios organization over recent years, so that we do have really, amazing game experiences that you can only play on Xbox. And that's a great way to kind of bring people in and have them kind of play with friends as well.
And if I can just ask a quick follow-up question. You really target, the core PC console gamers as the starting point, because are the ones that are going to be living and breathing games, and they want to know all the news and the new tech that is out there and how they can benefit from it. But if we look specifically at Southeast Asia, which is a predominantly mobile gaming market, the ratio of people that are really hardcore gamers and have this exposure, this past exposure to PC and console gaming, and that feel the connection to the subscriptions like Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, where Xbox Cloud Gaming is included. This, you might not have as many people in this segment of the market. So how does your marketing strategy and your promotion strategy change or adapt to the mobile first nature of the Southeast Asian market?
Yeah, I think, look, it's a good question. I think our perspective is that this is a decade-long shift to cloud gaming. This is not an overnight, you turn up with 5G, all of a sudden you've got this service and everyone just goes, oh, this is how I play now. This is something that is going to, start with one set of consumers, and it is going to grow over time. And I think, you do see a comparison to indeed how the broader gaming industry has shifted over the last decade or so as well. Certainly, it didn't necessarily start with mobile devices, right? It started from a core audience, but then slowly it grew. More people came in, yes, lighter consumption, lighter spend, etc. But they kind of come in over a period of time. So we're not necessarily expecting that mobile first, cloud first consumer is there, from day one of a new technology. That they'll kind of come in over time. And, it does come down to, what problem are you fixing here as well? If you talk to a lot of, mobile only gamers, they've got a handful of free games that perhaps is enough for them. And so it comes down to what new experience are you offering them that they couldn't do otherwise. Now that might be console AAA exclusives. That might be, high quality games that, CareGame can deliver that they couldn't otherwise play on their device, etc. Or it might be exclusives that, otherwise they just wouldn't have access to via a service. So I do think, that they come in over time, but I think, every new technology has to start somewhere and build over a period of time.
Thank you. And very, very enlightening answer. And I agree that indeed, if you look at mobile gaming, then it really just started from, it was a very niche segment at first, because the traditional gamer were on PC and consoles, but then it grew to what we all know. Now it is at like roughly half of the market. So definitely a good comparison, and I could see that happening, and that be the growth path for cloud gaming in general. And just moving to Subhash, what is the target audience for this more new B2B perspective that Oracle has, not targeting really directly end users, but companies that could perhaps benefit from your services?
Thanks, Guy. So I think we heard from both sides of the ecosystem which Oracle is addressing. The one was a mobile gaming platform, which Ben talked about, and the other side was a communication service provider point of view from StarHub. So as Oracle, we have in the digital media and gaming spectrum, and why I keep coupling digital media and gaming is, the core goal remains delivering content, quality content to different devices. It can be a mobile phone, it can be a PC, sure. Now, of course, both of these, media streaming and gaming, has their own requirements. I'll come to that later. But I can broadly categorize our customers in two categories. The first one is platform developers. Mostly they're ISVs, like media streaming platforms, animation studios, visual advertising platforms. And many of them are startups who wants to leverage some of our best practices with other customers and leverage some of our startup programs, right? And the second part is the providers, the game publishers, the broadcasters, video streaming social channels, communication service providers like the telcos, who has been our traditional customer with whom we are delivering our enterprise applications. Now what as Oracle we are trying to do is, idea is leveraging this ecosystem of the platform developers and providers and deliver the right content to the right audience in a device of their choice with a stable viewing or playing experience, leveraging Oracle Cloud as a platform of innovation. I mean, there is a huge market potential in mobile gaming. I think, one of the analyst report I read was around 3 to 4 billions by 2023. But to leverage that market opportunity, there needs to be a connected ecosystem and not just innovation. And that can be driven. And our goal is to drive it through our cloud platform, leveraging different offerings. Like I think Vikas talked about GPUs. So, huge rendering farm with GPUs, customer insights using analytics and ML. Reaching out to multiple channels by AI-enabled bots, content and experience platforms. So a whole bunch of innovation they can leverage, and they can utilize this market opportunity. Now, we also need to think about taking it to the next level. It's not right content, right audience, device of choice, it's already there. I think today that's not enough to keep audiences engaged. We're looking at taking it to the next level where the customer is really a protagonist, the end customer. They can create an experience of their choice for content consumption within their device. They can select multiple screens. They can select a virtual reality environment. And the providers and developers can leverage some of our cloud services, right, AI-driven PaaS services to rapidly deliver that. So there are a lot of services. That's where keeping that in mind. So not only serving this need of this ecosystem today, but also in future, where people are going to build a customized experience. And really the customer will be a protagonist and not just playing a video game in a console. So there are a lot of services like AI vision, et cetera, getting released every month. So we are trying to gear ourselves up to address this ecosystem and the evolving future.
Thank you. And the next topic I wanted to ask you guys for your opinions is, what do you think are the main challenges or roadblocks that are in the way of the development of cloud gaming in general around the world, but looking also specifically at Southeast Asia? And how do you think that these challenges can be addressed? What would be the solution? We already talked a little bit about 4G versus 5G and the improvements in the connection speeds and how that would benefit cloud gaming. But besides this, or adding on to this, what more can be done for the challenges ahead?
If I had to start the round again, and happy to ping again in the end, but indeed, the network infrastructure and internet speeds will be a challenge, even if it can be very, very easily tackled. And at least for what I know in mobile gaming, it's not a big deal. I think the challenges then are going to be more around the transmitting the new usage that cloud gaming come with. So in terms both of of course, content, as in many other places, content is king. So the catalog of games is going to be super important. When Jeremy was talking about people happy to find again their favorite games on their platforms, it's something that is, of course, very enticing for users. But I think it's also about discovering new games. And even if you were not a gamer before, you can now access to very exciting games that you discover to be your new favorite one. And here, for example, on the mobile side of things, of course, I know that many users are having kind of Supercell, Clash of Clans as their favorite games, and it's only on mobile. So that's where we are heading to. So content, and then it's going to be maybe, it's not the case right now that much, but we know that exclusives are going to be super important for some offers to just be competitive for the end users who maybe are sometimes fed up to have multiple accounts everywhere to get all their games rolling. And then there is also a change that I see because cloud gaming is really more sustainable in a subscription model, where mobile gaming is very powerfully impacted by the free-to-play business model. So there is this also evangelization of the subscription, which is a global tendency that we see. Of course, you have, even out of cloud gaming, you have Apple with Arcade that has paved the way also for some on mobile gaming, but you have many others. And even outside of gaming, subscription is a global tendency in user behaviors in their daily lives. So, but we'll have to keep pushing this, and also I think this is positive because it can also keep up the pressure for the quality of premium experiences, premium games. We know also that in some markets you have this ad fatigue, or hyper casual has also brought a lot of not gaming experience in a way. So yeah, that's the main barriers that I see. It's really evangelizing this new use, and for very specifically, for example, when I know every cloud gaming services going to mobile are using a web app, progressive web app going through Safari or Chrome. A very specific topic is making users aware that they can do a shortcut on their home screen to have a small icon that is looking like an app but is not an app. This is a very small step, but it's very important in the user flow for users to get to find their access to the games, even if it's not an app. And that's a small thing that just nobody does today. So it's that kind of barriers that for me are the most important. I don't know what you guys are thinking about that.
Yeah, so I think to give a perspective to what Ben said, at the core, I think the challenge for mobile gaming, I mean, from what I hear from not the big game publishers, but especially from the small and medium segment publishers, is the core challenge is the high churn rates and the fragmented audience. If we look into this challenge, you get an obvious answer that they have a lot of choice, the audience today, and they have a less attention spans. But I think it's just a symptom. I think the root cause is delivering a customer experience with changing expectations rapidly. And also these initiatives, I mean, for example, when you are a mobile gaming platform provider, also these initiatives comes at a cost, right? So the cost factor becomes extremely important in Southeast Asia market, which is extremely cost sensitive. And not only for end customers, but also providers, considering a lot of independent software vendors in digital and game media and gaming segment are SMEs, driving these initiatives for the end publishers. So if I go a bit deeper into this two words, customer experience, and addressing the challenges, some of the key factors is one, a stable environment, right? So in a massive multiplayer games, which are live streamed from cloud, latency plays a huge role. I mean, all of us, we talked about it, right, today. And there are two angles. One is the latency in the cloud backbone network and the scalability. And the second part is, of course, the latency for the end users. And today in Southeast Asia, I think that latency for the end user, we know other than the metros of different countries in Southeast Asia, if you go out of the metros, that plays a huge role, that 5G networks. So while, suppose you're a gaming provider, you want to host your gaming in cloud, while every cloud providers, be it Oracle, AWS, and Azure, has their own way of handling, bandwidth, latency, scalability, but it is also important from a cloud provider's perspective to understand the game platform provider's point of view, their end audience, and help them choose the right cloud components, which helps them deliver low latency performance in the cloud. And from the end user's perspective, end customers' latency perspective, there are different technologies which is coming up, like adaptive bitrate, depending on the mobile connection. And also different cloud providers have, their edge compute away from their main regions, which can be also leveraged. So the first part was a stable environment, talking about the latency. The second part is engaging experience, that is engage your player or viewer to your platform with innovative experience and monetization model. Now, all of us want to engage the end customers with the innovative experience, but what is that experience and for which audience? So the first thing is to get on engaging experiences, gain customers insight, like understand the customer's journey in your gaming platform, their learning curve in the game, predict any bugs or performance issues in a particular region if you have suddenly thousands of players joining. All the top items, like in the free-to-play model, I mean, that's the source of revenue generation there. So you need to get an insight on this and leverage AI/ML-driven analytics of customer and your gaming platform, which is a huge collection of real-time events. And there's a lot of data which can be collected from that and generate intelligence. And all of this can be blended into a data platform. So that's where you need a good data processing speed. And the third one, the quality and relevance of the content, and which is very important. And of course, a cloud provider has less part to play in that rather than the creator of the content. Like there's a lot of content, guys, today over the internet. There's overload of content, right? So just to ensure that the content is a quality content, it is interactive. And so that's my point of view on this challenges. I mean, it's the core of it is that fragmented audience. And why the fragmented audience? It relates directly to customer experience, performance, understanding the customers, understanding their need for content.
And I think both Ben and Subhash already covered what I see as the main challenges as well. So because we're kind of reaching the end of our time slot, I'm going to jump to the last topic. And I want to ask all of you what you think is going to be the future of cloud gaming. Specifically, what role is it going to play in the large or the wider entertainment industry as we go forward? And maybe we can start with Jeremy or Vikas, who haven't spoken in a while.
Great. Yeah, I mean, I think certainly cloud gaming will absolutely grow accessibility of content to even more players. Obviously, this will continue to grow over the coming years as infrastructure continues to be built out and improve that play experience. Alongside, the products just getting more mature in this space as well. Obviously, real benefit here is enabling content creators to actually reach 3 billion gamers on the planet, regardless of the device that they use. But I do see as a little bit further out, the real step change here is potentially when the content becomes truly cloud native as well. And so there, you're then in a scenario where games are built to be run and hosted, in the cloud, And that fundamentally provides brand new experiences for players. Significantly larger worlds, more detailed environments, infinite player counts, etc. And I think that's a really, really exciting future here, driven by cloud gaming.
Yeah, completely agree with Jeremy. I think we're just getting started with this exciting space of cloud gaming. It's not that cloud gaming is new. It's just that the infrastructure is now makes it available for customers to jump onto the bandwagon. I was reading a study that if music industry was X billion dollar worth in the world today, video is X plus Y, and gaming is X plus Y plus Z. So it's bigger than both music and video combined, and this is better than anything, right? So cloud gaming would start small, but we will see more and more so-called gamers joining this whole ecosystem. The challenge we have to sort out for, which is there for content as well today, is the fragmentation of the content, which everyone talked about. There are three big cloud providers. There's Microsoft, there is Amazon with their Luna, Microsoft with their xCloud, there is Google with their Stadia, NVIDIA with their GPUs. Then they are on the mobile side, you have Apple and Google with their app store. So at some point, customers would find their experiences vary, but that wouldn't stop the ecosystem to grow. So this would play a big role in adoption of cloud gaming in the future, and this will be a big thing in the entertainment industry. I mean, because gone are the days that you have one screen which you fight for playing games or watching videos on the TV. Everyone has their individual devices. There's no shared devices. So the household has different forms of entertainment. Gaming is the big one. So yeah, and we have seen in Southeast Asia particularly, you would see even though it's casual gamers, that late laggards of Pokemon Go's and so on are your grandmas and grandpas who still play those games, right? So we will continue to see. This is just the tip of the iceberg, and the exciting journey starts now.
Yeah, and to jump on the topic, of course, also agree that cloud gaming is gonna keep. I mean, it's only the beginning. It's gonna be super interesting to see how the different types of cloud gaming offers will match different type of users. Keep thinking of these players who are already having consoles and who are eager to jump on the experience on other devices, but also the wide audience that has never played on a console and wants to jump in whatever is the device they have in their hands, and actually in the vast majority of devices they have in hand is a smartphone. I think so. Definitely, mobile gaming is going to be keeping as experience gets as good as elsewhere, and that also thanks to the progress in game engines and game developers. It's going to be very exciting to see that. I'm super curious about what Jeremy mentioned about cloud native games. Can't wait to see that happens. I also think, as he said, that the shift is going to take a decade, right? So adoption is going to adoption is always faster in like Excel spreadsheets projections than in reality, and cloud native games are going to happen definitely at some point, but also in the same time mobile game developers will keep having their APKs on mobile, and people will need also to have some files to download at some point, or access them through the cloud. So I think it's going to be super diverse but converge in the end to what we have already seen, actually, a very like cross-platform experiences where you can have somebody jumping from its mobile and somebody from an Xbox or a PC, even if the experience at Fortnite shows that you can't really compete with each other's depending on the quality of the experience or the latency, etc. So yeah, thrilled to be here at this moment when we'll see what happens next.
Sure. So I think to close, based on what I heard from my peers in the discussion, that the cloud gaming is of course here to stay, and what will evolve is the experience and also the different value streams. Like in terms of experience, as I mentioned, the future experience is where there is more power to the player. The player can create a customized experience for himself and enjoy the game in a customized environment, and they can seamlessly switch to devices. I mean, you left off a game while you're playing on your PC. Then you're on the move and you got some time and you want to play it in a hotel room, you just play it on your mobile phone. And also they should have a choice to select their environment, like a virtual reality environment, customizable screens. So that's how it will evolve. And also the ecosystem will evolve with more and more communication providers. like StarHub, Vikas was talking about. More and more communication providers will get into this ecosystem and leveraging the 5G backbone, and also the cloud providers like Oracle, AWS, Azure, helping connect the ecosystem players to build a more connected gaming economy. I think all the building blocks are there today, but it's very important to create a connected economy, getting the developers and the providers together.
Thank you all so much. And I think that wraps up our panel. So we'll now jump to the live Q&A session. Thank you all.